Okay, so today I'm going to show you how to tie in raspberries. Now this is really something I should have done a couple of months ago. These are summer raspberries and they finished fruiting in maybe July, beginning of August probably. And as you can see, if I let go of them, they just, well, they fall out of camera completely, they fall over. What tying in means is creating some kind of structure and then tying your raspberries onto the structure so that they are extended to their maximum height. The reason you would want to do that is because that then allows as much light as possible into the canes, which helps to ripen the fruit, and it also just stops them keeling over and being really difficult to pick from. You can grow them without doing this, as I have done this year because I'm lazy, but it is better to try to do it, so I'm going to show you how to. And the other thing to note is that normally you would grow raspberries in a big long line, so you would have a row of canes with a row of wire between them, and you just have all your canes attached onto one line, or however many lines you had space for. I am growing mine in a corner, which is going to make this all the more challenging. So I am going to create my raspberry tying in thing from my washing line to the fence. So in order to make this amazing raspberry tying in thing, I've got some wire. As everyone's doing all their shopping online at the moment due to the coronavirus, I didn't really know what I was buying, and this is way thinner than I intended, so I'm going to have to double it up. But first of all, I'm going to attach it on here. So the aim is to get as much air and light into your crop as possible. So in order to tie my raspberries out as wide apart as possible, I'm going to go for a fan shape. So I'm going to do several different wire supports going from the washing line to back to the fence. Okay, so hopefully that's firmly enough on, I think so. And then, oh gosh, I'm going to get stuck on my arm. This might be a bit knotty. Oh dear. That wasn't what I expected. Okay, right. So wind it around, and I think I probably want it a bit lower because not all the canes are very tall. And then I'm going to wind it back. Okay. Just sort of winding the wire around itself just to make it a bit thicker, a bit more durable, hopefully. And then okay, great. Wind it back around the fence. Hope I haven't made an absolute mess of this. Oh my god, I have. Get there eventually. Okay, for ease of not spending an hour undoing that, I'm going to cut this. And then I'm going to tie this one off here. Okay, and we're back with a slightly less tangled version. So now I'm going to put the next section of the fan on, and I'm doing this a little bit more logically than the first one. I'm doing, this is a half hitch, I think, this type of knot. Not entirely sure. To adjust that slightly. Okay, let's see, where are we up to? Okay, right, so now we've got a double length up to the fence. This is a reef knot. That is definitely a reef knot. It will be in a minute. Ah. Okay, right, so we've got two now. Okay, so now I've got my trio of wires in a fan shape going out from the washing line. I'm going to start attaching them on. Now obviously some of the canes are too short. If they grow up longer, I will add them on, but I'm going to start with the tallest ones at the moment, and I'm going to aim for maximum space. So I'm going to just loosely use a figure of 8 So one loop around the cane, twist it over, and then, oops, exactly what I've just not done. One loop around the cane, and then another loop around the wire. That stops so that the wire is not actually touching the cane, and then knot that securely. So you can knot it as tightly as you want to the wire. In fact, you want it tight so it stays in place, but not tight around the cane. A little bit fiddly. I'm going to adjust that. Okay, so I want a bigger loop around the cane than I had. Yeah, and then I want it tight around the wire. Okay, so now I'll move on to the next one. Okay, so this is by no means a perfect way of doing this. You know, it would be much better if you had a straight row, but ultimately, if you're growing in a small urban garden, you've got to use the space that you have, and it will work. So I'm leaving a gap between these two canes. Okay, and now I'm going to find the next ones, and I'm going to move on to the second section of the fan here. Actually, for ease of attaching it tightly onto the wire, I'm actually just knotting it first onto the wire because I found that was easier doing the second one. So secure tight knot onto the wire and a looser loop around the fruit so that you don't cut off the internal circulation of the plant. Okay, and now the next one. Okay, so here we are with the fully tied raspberry canes. I think you can see how much more upright they are. So I had my fan shape of wires going out from the pole to the fence, and I tied on all the tallest ones onto there. And then on the other side of the fence, I attached a wire that goes up to the washing line and back down, and I managed to attach a couple more on there. And then basically around the small trailing lower ones, I just attached a loop of string which hooks them here onto the line as well. So yeah, overall effect, much more spread out than they would have been, and hopefully a riper, more productive raspberry harvest next year.